Yeah, welcome to another episode of Arts Place Live, number 72. We've got a great show today. We are going to talk about the Supreme Court vacancy. That's the big buzz in the news. How is that going to affect the election? How is that going to affect the stimulus package? We'll talk about that and more today on Arts Place Live. Let's welcome my co-host and cohort. Let's welcome to the stage Lloyd Mendenhall.
Hey Art, thanks for that. Yeah. Boy, how times have changed is like just, uh, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Justice Ginsberg.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I admit I didn't know if she was actually going to pass or if they were going to keep her embalmed till after the election. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought she was going to live forever. She keeps beating cancer every couple years.
Horse. Yeah, I'll give her dues. She's a tough war horse.
Yeah, she's a tough bird. She married somebody just a few weeks ago.
Did she really?
Yeah. So there was a big to do about that. That wasn't a really huge thing, but there were some people saying, "Well, wait a minute, she's in that age group where she's at that age for comorbidity for COVID. What is she out there doing?" Officiating a wedding.
You mean she performed a wedding? I'm going to say,
yeah.
What the hell would a woman that's 88 years old, 89, getting married again? I bet you she got
Boy, come on. Get with the program.
Okay. Yeah. All right. She performed.
She is a judge, so she can.
Yeah. She can perform. Yes.
Well, just like you're an ordained minister. You can marry people.
Yeah. I can marry people. I haven't done it in years and years and years, but I'm sure I've got a book in there that it's a matrimony book that I can go through.
Like matrimony for dummies.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Actually, it's one I printed up with a more
with larger text.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's in a big.
Not like
it's a big 3-ring notebook. Yeah, it's not
readers. Like
it's a big 3-ring notebook, and it flip pages so I can with pictures, and I know what I'm supposed to be saying. And I can do the contemporary, more modern, contemporary, or I can do the more conservative style weddings. But
I want to say hello to Michael Wright in the chat.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we got a vacancy on the Supreme Court. Kind of surprising. I thought she was going to. She's like the Energizer Bunny. I thought she was going to stick it out until after the second term of Trump, and but that's how it goes. Sometimes some people just.
You don't usually have a choice in those matters. So
that's right.
But yeah, it's definitely going to be, man, I don't know which way this is going to turn. Hello, Chris Hope and Michael.
Oh, Chris Hope. All right.
Yeah, he just popped in. Yeah, this is the protests are going to get crazy right now.
I think so, especially if he nominates somebody and the Senate starts hearings. I think it's going to break loose and they're going to go nuts. Oh, by the way, Chris, you can send me a pizza. I love pizza.
Yeah, I heard about that, Chris. That's funny.
Oh, God.
Mitch is here. Rick is here.
Oh, man, that's the best prank I'd ever heard, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back. I usually at least watch it and put in my little snide comments on Art Show. I was giving Adrian crap the That was actually on Jim's show Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday, I was giving him a bunch of crap, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was that was funny, Chris. That was funny. But
Mhm. All right, getting back to Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg. I mean Bader.
Bader,
Yeah.
I don't know if you look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks like she could wear a hairnet like Ruth
Her
Buzzy on
hairstyle wasn't too
Laughing.
much different than Ruth Buzzy's was in that in
Mm-hmm.
Laughing.
Yep.
And of course, are we supposed to wait 10 days before we can speak ill of the dead, or can we just go ahead and keep going now?
Well, I know a comic that, within hours he was already making jokes. I'm like going, Jimmy, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect, because she was a uh, she was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, her decisions and some of her didn't mean I agree with them. I didn't agree with 90% of what she stood for, but she was a what do they call them, a great jurist, and from her point of view, but it created a lot of problems too for us as government. I think some of the stuff that's happened over the last few years, had we had a more conservative person on the seat, I think a lot of things would have changed.
Yeah.
And as far as but Ruth Buzzy, she,
Well, that's what Rush Limbaugh calls her all the time.
Oh yeah, I keep missing him for some reason. I've been listening to Rush since 88,
Wow.
86. Yeah.
Wow, that's right at the beginning. I started listening to him in '92 when I took a job at an document imaging place.
Right.
And my boss had Rush Limbaugh on the radio. And of course, my best friend, I got him a job there. He is completely opposite of me.
Right.
I call him a bleeding heart liberal. And
Yeah.
I always used to make fun of him. So, Kurt, when you go to vote, do you take the IV stand with you when you go into the voting booth?
Yeah. I've actually somewhere up here. I actually got my folks got me for my mom got it, I think, or maybe Judy got it for it. Rush Limbaugh's first book and his second book. And,
the way things ought to be.
Yeah, the one he did back in the 80s.
Yep. I got one from my dad, and my dad was a subscriber to his newsletter for a while there.
Yeah. That's something I've never done, is subscribe to his newsletter, but I get so much. I had to go in and clear out a bunch of junk that I'd been saving since 2001 because my mailbox was so full, but I was saving it and I started looking at it. I was like, I don't even use these programs. Why do I need to save the passwords for them anymore?
Yeah, there you go.
So I started cleaning out, and I'm able to get my mail. I was getting a lot of stuff bounced back, but I get so much junk, not junk, but so much stuff coming from different places that I just never wanted to, I'm too cheap. I don't want to spend however much it is for the Limbaugh letter. I got stuff here I'd rather spend my money on than.
Now, I did have a Club Gitmo t-shirt.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Yeah, it was orange and it said Club Gitmo. And then on the back, I went to Cuba and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
T-shirts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we've got protests going on here outside of Muskogee in a place called Taft at the Eddie Warrior prison. It's a minimum security prison. Yeah. And I kid you not, it's called Orange Lives Matter.
Orange Lives, okay.
Because apparently the prisoners aren't being given, I don't know, they're not being treated properly for COVID, So they say. I don't even know if they have any current cases of COVID there. And if anybody needs to be hospitalized, they're going to be hospitalized. It's just, these people are saying they're not, I don't know, they didn't get masks or something. So
Yeah.
And a good portion of the people that stand out there marching in protest in front of this prison wearing their orange t-shirts saying Orange Lives Matters, most of them are
Former
ex-convicts
inmates?
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have,
Okay.
they should be, they had the real orange, not the fake orange shirts they're wearing outside. They wore the real orange inside, so yeah, so apparently every color of the rainbow is being covered in Lives Matters,
There you go. Well,
except for white lives.
next time you see graffiti that says Black Lives Matter, put an
Right?
O in front of lives. Black Olives Matter.
Black olives. My mind's slow on the pickup today, Art. I'm telling you. Yeah. And I was here plenty of time. I didn't come sliding in here after
Yeah,
you
that's
started the
right.
timers.
You are a good boy today.
Yeah, I set my alarm. Yeah, I made you, and I didn't even hit the snooze. So,
Well, how do
I'm
you
all
think
right.
this, if they go through with the nomination hearings, you think this will pretty much put the brakes on the stimulus bill?
If they go through, run that by me again.
Okay. Right. There's a vacancy on the Supreme
Yeah,
Court.
all right. So if they
Okay,
go
and
through that, will that stop the stimulus?
yeah, the negotiations for
Yeah.
stimulus. Or do
Oh,
you think
probably.
Nancy will say, screw it, you guys are a bunch of buttheads. We're not going to vote on it. Because
Oh,
right
yeah. I
before, yeah, go ahead.
was going to say, yeah. No, I think that's going to happen anyways. I think Nancy is she's going to do one of two things, and obviously my ideas are that she'll probably, if she's going to cave, she's going to wait until the last minute, and then she'll be able to take credit for finally negotiating a good stimulus package for all the fine people of the United States. Of course, she's going to make sure she gets all of her pork barrel crap in there, or she's going to be so ticked off because Trump had the gall to nominate somebody before the election, unlike Obama. Uh, you know,
Yep.
As a matter of fact, Obama did nominate somebody, but the Senate, just because it was controlled by the Republicans, just said, we're not bringing it.
That's correct. That's correct.
And the difference was he was already the end of a 2-term presidency,
Right.
whereas Trump is at the end of his first term. He's still eligible to be reelected, and that's the big difference.
Yeah,
didn't matter
that's
whether,
true. I didn't think of that. That's true.
And
I think, well, to give you a little bit of background on what's going on with the stimulus package, there is a group of congressmen called well, they're a bunch of centrists from both parties. There's 24 of each, and they came up with a plan. Basically, it's not a bill yet, but it basically what it did was it took a bunch from each side, put it together, and came up with not a perfect bill, but something to at least get them to negotiate. Where Trump said, hey, I'm happy with this bill. And it sounded like Nancy was willing to negotiate and get things moving. And then all of a sudden there's this vacancy. I think that threw a big wrench into it. And I think it could kill this. And probably if nothing gets done, I think you'll see the unemployment rate start to tick up, especially if we win the House. It'll be till January before we get a bill going through.
Right. Yeah.
And, by that time, the unemployment rate will be, we might be seeing a double dip recession, and we could all blame it on the Democrats for they could have gotten this all done. You know what was in the current bill? 2 stimulus checks.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
One
That
for
they were going
now
to do.
and one for March. Now, if they end up killing it, nothing gets done till January, I think we'll just end up getting one bill on that, or one check.
Right, right.
And
Well,
I think it'll get greatly trimmed down. It won't be, because I think right now the current bill is at $1.5 trillion, which
right.
is a lot better than 2.2 trillion that Nancy wants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, from what I understand, there's still money left over from the previous stimulus
Yeah, that's right.
care
Hmm.
care bill or whatever they call it. And if it wasn't used, just reapply it into the new
Yeah, I
bill.
think
And,
they already had put
and that
that
may be
into
why
this bill.
the price dropped on it. Yeah. So,
And one of the things they were going to bring back was the idle grants, which is going to be very helpful for businesses. They could get these grants to keep their businesses afloat
yeah,
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit longer, so they could recover from this
Right.
devastation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's, I personally, I think that I don't think the stimulus bill was going to pass until after the election, anyways. It's, you know, because both parties can sit there and say, look, the other one did it. It's their fault. It's an
Yep.
election thing. I don't think anything is going to get done other than through a presidential mandate
I think you're
over,
right.
over the next, 45 days is how many we got left or less, 40 some odd days.
Right.
And, and then the protests will start all over,
Yep.
and I don't care if Trump wins or if he loses, those protesters are going to protest,
Yep. I
and
think you're right on that.
if he wins, I don't think, because some of those protesters are starting to turn on,
Each
you
other
know, each other. Yeah. Well, they're
on
turning
the
on the
liberals
liberals that are, because they're not
supporting. Yeah.
supporting them like they should. The liberals
Yep.
are starting to eat their own, it's coming down like, oh crap, this could hurt us. And,
Mhm.
uh, I just, the genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah,
That's what it comes down to.
that's
And I
true.
don't think who he picks for Supreme Court justice. And, like you and I were talking, uh, no matter who he picks, if they can get it passed, which, something was brought up to me by somebody I was talking to this week, probably my cousin. We were talking about this. Now, can they use a filibuster on this?
I don't think they can on this one,
That's what I was
because
thinking. I
they only need a simple majority
right,
to pass
right,
it through the Senate. Even
yeah,
if Romney, uh, Murkowski, and Collins vote the other way, Pence will be the tiebreaker.
okay, all right. That's what I was saying, because I know that Murkowski has already come out against nominating, and saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
And uh, this is the one president. It doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's going to get
oh yeah, yeah.
dinged down. But this
Hello,
is
Steve.
the way I look at it is, okay, say the nomination, they make the nomination for tomorrow, and the hearings start this week,
Right.
and they were able to get the nominee through and elected. And if BLM goes on its promise, BLM and Antifa, and go on this huge rampage, I think Trump is going to win by a huge landslide.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And
I think the only states Biden will win are New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, California for sure, Washington and Oregon. That's it.
Yeah.
I think all the states in the middle,
Yeah.
they're all going to be saying, hey, we're not going to
Yeah.
put up with this crap.
Yeah.
So
And
they're going to
I don't see him winning like Michigan because they're so fed up with the crap that's been going on with their governor and stuff. I think they're going to flip, or they're going to go red this year. I mean,
well, and the police unions, every police union is
is
going to
supporting.
back Trump this time.
Yeah.
And even the automobile workers are going to vote for Trump because he's the one that got them a better trade deal when you renegotiated NAFTA, and that helped them out.
You know what I don't understand is it just shows you the political bias on so much stuff. But look at Steve says possibly Nevada too. Yeah. Let's talk about the United Arab Emirates and that peace deal that he brokered. You know?
And Bahrain too.
Yeah, and Bahrain too. You know, he negotiates this kind of a peace deal, and why isn't he up for the nomination for Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh yeah, he's been nominated twice.
Oh, has he? And he's never won it yet.
Well, I don't think they've had the.
They haven't. Okay.
Proceedings yet.
All right.
You got to go through a nomination process, and then
okay.
He's
it's amazing that Obama got it. Obama got it for just winning an election.
Got it before he was even inaugurated.
Yeah, just for winning the election. That wasn't his doing. That was the doing of the people of the United States, and that's the kind of crap that ticks me off about some of these, game show prizes they give away, because that's what it is, a game show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the Nobel Peace Prize has gotten so political.
Yeah. And consider Nobel, the inventor of TNT, he made his money off of arms.
It was done dirt cheap.
Do what?
It was done dirt cheap.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the guy invents one of the most deadly explosives. I mean, you look at it and dynamite and TNT and the stuff that he helped bring into the world, and we measure our atomic bombs by
the power of TNT.
Yeah, power of TNT. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he's got the Peace Prize. Yeah. Well,
by kilotons and megatons.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, I don't think Trump can. I mean, I think he'll win the election. I really do. Yeah. But I think if he gets the nomination and he gets it through and they get it, and it's done in this next 45 days. I don't know if they can, but, because it doesn't matter. He's smart if he nominates a woman, because let's see, because every time they nominate a man, they're all guilty of sexual misconduct.
Oh, did you see there already people lining up saying, "Oh, that person sexually assaulted me," even before they even made the announcement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's why he said in all likelihood it's going to be a woman. Yeah.
Well, he's narrowed it down to 2, and you know what? I'll do a real.
I hadn't looked today. I hadn't looked.
SCOTUS nominees. Okay. One of them is Amy. Oh.
One of them is.
One of them was Amy somebody, and the other one was a Latina. Amy Barrett.
Amy Barrett. Okay.
Amy Barrett. Amy Cooney Barrett. Oh, boy.
Okay.
And then there's, okay.
You know, just I'm here trying to look with you, trying to figure out who it is, and I just saw a little thing pop up about. I'm on Fox News, and they got Bill Gates offers vaccine prediction, says Trump's China ban led to virus spread. Well, if anybody would know about viruses, it would be Bill Gates, because his programs have
That's
been
right.
full of viruses and attacked by viruses more than any other in the world. So he's the virus expert.
Yep. Oh, and the other nominee is Barbara Lagoa.
Okay.
Yeah, she's. I think she's a Cuban. Yeah.
He said,
So yeah, she's of Cuban ancestry, which is, pretty cool. Imagine if she puts her in.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how this all falls out and how this is going to affect the election and the stimulus package and other things.
Mel says he didn't nominate the women. The dumbs told him who they are putting with him.
LOL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, he's smart in putting women up there because the sexual harassment thing's just a little.
Well, and plus
Chief
got to
Justice
replace
noms.
a woman with a woman.
Yeah.
You know?
And, well, keeps it fair and balanced and,
Yeah. Because if you would have replaced Ginsberg with a man, the Democrats...
Yeah, we're talking about the chief. He thought we were talking about who Biden nominated for his vice president. No, we're talking about the chief justices. That's where I got lost on what he was saying. Okay, yeah. That's what you get for showing up late, Mel.
Yep.
Fall behind there. But yeah. No, well, like I said, it's not an easy pass by any means. I mean,
right.
But what was funny is when I started looking at Justice Ginsburg's criteria and stuff, or anyways, her record and stuff, I really thought she'd been around a lot longer than she had, but she, because God, I thought she'd been nominated back under Washington D.C. or somebody. She looked that old and seemed that old, but
well, she was Clinton.
Billy Boy's
Billy Bob. Yeah. Slick Willie.
Yeah, Slick Willie. Yeah. There. You talk about somebody who gets away with. I guess a white man will never be nominated again. I guess they have achieved their objective. Yeah, and that's really the point. It's we old white people are just we're outdated now. So, but hey, if you're worried about it, what you can do is you can go to one of those DNA things and they can throw in and you can say, oh, look, I've got blood from, South America or something. Yeah. And because those things are about as accurate as, throwing a rock at a star.
Well, you know what? They even have DNA tests for your dogs.
Yeah.
So you can find out what kind of mutt your dog is.
Yeah.
Which
I know
is
what
ironic.
mine is.
Oh, yeah, we thought he was Border Collie Shepherd Mix, but no, he's Boxer Cockapoo Mix.
Yeah. 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 It's in, you're right. Mel said dark glasses keep him from seeing. Okay. Yeah. But yeah.
Agent K, that's funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's I've said that for quite a while. I've been saying that on my vlogs. That's poor old fat white guys. That's the reason I started the Grumpy Vlogger, because there was nobody really representing, angry fat old white men.
Right.
Straight white men. And nothing against, however, whatever you do in your own bedroom. I just don't need to see it on the streets. And it's just,
that's super.
Yeah. But yeah. But this is going to be interesting. I don't think whatever Trump does, there's going to be protests. I just saw a thing that they said they're going to, if Trump nominates, Dems threaten to pack the Supreme Court if Trump gets his nominee confirmed. Fine. They get arrested for violating federal, federal laws there. That's great. Go ahead and do it. Then you're going to see a bunch of those Dems going to jail under federal law, not the local bleeding heart liberal magistrate that is in your county because you marched. No, it's going to be federal charges then. Let them go ahead and do it.
Well, speaking of federal charges, did you hear there's been an assassination attempt foiled by the feds?
No,
yeah, they intercepted a package that had ricin, not rice, ricin.
Ricin, yeah, really.
Yeah, not the kind.
Where was it headed?
To the White House, to Trump.
Wow. Jesus, I expect that's going to happen. They're going to try their best, if and yeah, it's
and it looks like this package came from Canada.
Well, yeah, that would be the way they would do it, because Canada's got so many of the so many immigrants from the Middle East. They've got there's a lot of things that goes on in Canada that is counterintuitive to the United States interest.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they support groups that we wouldn't.
Well, Mitch makes a good point. Trump doesn't open his own. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, they've ever since. Clear back to 9/11. We're talking 20 years ago, almost 19 years ago. Yeah. When those packages started getting mailed out. They. Oh
yeah, they had the rash of anthrax.
Yeah, the anthrax. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a nut job taking it. There was 3 or 4 things going on at the same time. We had the 9/11 attack, then we had the anthrax, then we had the DC snipers, and it was all at the same time. They took advantage of the confusion after 9/11, because they're the chaos after 9/11 to further their own things. Were they all interconnected? I don't know. I don't think we ever really will know.
Yep.
But
where ricin comes from?
I did, until you asked me.
Comes from castor beans.
Castor beans, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just it popped in my head just as back when I was a kid, and you had problems. Here's a spoonful of castor oil. That stuff would kill you. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's interesting. There's been a huge increase in attempts. In the past 2 months.
Well, yeah, I am not a bit surprised by that, because I fully expect that's going to be their next. That's going to be their next thing. They're going to. If he wins re-election, he's he's going to need some real security around him. Yeah. Yep. And this is, I hate to say it, but I think the genie's out of the bottle on some of this. I think the fascist revolution, or the anarchist revolution, is well on its way. Yeah. We'll get that gnat one of these days. I don't know where they're coming from. Drives me nuts. And but I think it's well on its way to happening already, and
Yeah.
it's sad, and it's been in the planning for 40 years, you know.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you look back on the Kennedy assassination.
yeah,
How
yeah,
it's like, how could you not have security on all the buildings along that route? I mean,
yeah,
nobody really thought about something. Then all of a sudden, Gerald Ford got shot at.
yeah, yeah,
Not once, but twice
right,
by some whacked out
yeah,
wackadoodles. Uh,
yeah.
the closest thing to an assassination attempt on George W. Bush was when that guy threw that shoe at him. I'm surprised that
I
guy didn't get shot on the
I
spot.
know. It's like, well, okay,
And Bush, well, I mean, he ducked, and he saw that thing.
yeah, yeah. That could have easily been a bomb. That could have been,
Yep,
any, could have had a, could have,
a hand
instead of foot
grenade.
powder. Yeah, well, instead of foot powder, it could have had rising powder in it. That'd
Yep.
be a easy way to sneak it in there and then throw it up there, and that would just powderize. And yeah,
Well, if it was baby powder, he might have gotten cancer down.
you're right. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's I'm not surprised, and they're keeping that low key. What I find different is it seemed under Obama, everybody was getting into the White House. I mean, it's like people
Yeah.
were like that one couple that showed up at a, you know,
Oh,
showed
yeah.
up, yeah, at
Uh,
a
yeah, I
cocktail party or
forgot all
whatever.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had that kind of stuff going on all the time under Obama, and you heard about it. You're not hearing that stuff under Trump, you
Yep.
know. But I'll bet you Trump doesn't have just Secret Service. I'll bet you he has his own hired people keeping an eye
Yeah.
out somewhere there that you don't know about. And yeah,
Well, I went
but
to a Bush rally at Red Rocks. You've been to Red
yeah,
Rocks, haven't you?
yeah,
They had snipers up on the
yeah,
top of the Red Rocks there, and you
yeah,
could see them. I had my binoculars, and I'm like,
yeah.
holy crap,
Oh
man.
yeah. They've got people there, and it's not just the 6 or 7 guys you see running next to the limo. It's
Yeah.
they got people in place. And you talk about the Kennedy assassination, and there's a very interesting and plausible video out that talks about where they finally got. It's the best explanation I've ever seen of what happened. And
Right?
uh, we'll discuss it off air, but
Okay.
because I don't want it's not.
All right. Yeah,
Some
we'll
would say
stick to current
conspiracy
stuff,
things,
and
but
yeah,
the proof is there, and it's actually the best explanation I've ever seen, and it's
right.
really a sad situation that happened.
Mhm.
It was sort of an accident.
Well, and you never heard about any attempts on Bill Clinton, or
No,
it just seems to be more with conservative presidents,
yeah,
Republican
yeah, yeah,
presidents. Ronald Reagan, who actually got shot, uh, luckily he didn't get killed.
right, yeah, yeah.
Because that guy used a 22 caliber handgun.
As
Had
my
he
wife
used
likes
a
to say,
larger, huh?
yeah, my wife likes to say about 22s, it's the chosen weapon of good of good assassins. It's the
Yeah,
chosen weapon of all assassins. You could take a 22 rifle, shoot from further away. It's got a good flat trajectory.
yeah,
Pop them in the head, and that thing's going to rattle around inside the brain.
yeah.
Especially if
That's right.
yeah. And that's what a lot of them use. They also use it for close-up work too. Silence it pretty easy. You know,
Yep.
don't ask me what my wife knows about assassin weapons, but it's
She's
like,
been watching CSI again.
no, she told me this long before CSI was ever on
Oh,
TV. She told me this back right after we got married. I'm thinking,
well, and that was also the caliber that killed Robert Kennedy.
yeah, yeah,
That guy used a cheap Ivers Johnson
right, yeah,
pistol. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, there's something I was going to say about all that, and I forgot what it is now. But Anyways, if I don't say it when I'm thinking about it, then I'll forget it. Yeah, yes, they had snipers up there because yeah.
Well, I was selling T-shirts that said Carrie's Purple Hearts, and what they were Band-Aids with purple hearts on.
Oh, okay.
And I had them on the front of the shirt, and
Right.
they sold like hotcakes. And then I got a gig up in Wyoming, and I sold a crap load of those T-shirts, made a ton of money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
One of your many jobs over your years, you've had a very colorful life.
Yep. Got to travel around and meet a lot of interesting people. So let's see what else is. Our illustrious senator from Colorado, Cory Gardner. He's also talking about, well, maybe we should wait until after the election to nominate a replacement. I'm like, Cory, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to lose your election? I mean, you were way ahead of Hickenlooper in the polls, and now you just totally obliterated your chance. You just pissed off your base. You would just keep your trap shut.
Yeah, I saw that comment, and I knew you were going to say something about that because I read that the other day. Believe it or not, I've actually been reading a little bit about what's been going on. Problem is I read it yesterday. I forgot it by today.
So I guess
Cory Gardner is
yeah. Lauren Boebert's opponent is attacking her, and have you seen her photo? What is her? I forgot her name, but Colorado.
Oh yeah, I know that we have one Democrat district down here, and I can't remember what it was she stood up for, but it basically ticked off, and so they're trying to make Oklahoma an all red state, so where all 6 districts are represented by conservatives. So, and it looks like that may happen, because she's struggling. She came in and I don't know if she came in 2018 or if she came in 2016. I can't remember where they brought her in.
Well, Lauren Boebert's opponent is Diane Mitch Bush.
Okay.
And have you seen her photo? Oh, God, she looks scary. She's an old lady. I think she's in her late 60s or early 70s. And
right.
Yeah.
But she looks like Methuselah's grandmother.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Denver Post poll. Well, Lauren Boebert, she's a hottie. Okay, let's see what the...
Yeah, Steve puts
if you look at the...
Go ahead.
Her district is the whole west slope, and then it kind of goes around the south and curls up, and Pueblo is part of her district. And that's a big district. But it'll be interesting to see how that district is going to look after the 2020 census, when Colorado is they're going to add another congressman to Colorado. So we'll have 8 congressional seats instead of 7.
I wonder, are they going to, I wonder if they'll take any away from California, because everybody's bailing out of California. and moving to
Well,
Colorado and Texas
it
and
doesn't
places.
work out that way. It's
Yeah.
by population of the state, and yeah, in on it. I got a little thing from Congressman Buck. They're looking for people to be on the panel for the
Oh,
congressional maps, and I threw my hat in the ring, and we'll see if I make it on. That'd be kind of cool to be part of
yeah.
that.
Be part of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And not that a whole ton of people are watching this show, but
We've got
my
quite a crowd today.
yeah, we were up to 12 people, so
Yeah, we got
that's pretty good.
That's because we got Steve
What
Mack, Michael Wright.
what I was going to do if I make it to this group is kind of scope out because it's going to be a X amount of Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliates. So it's going to be a third, a third, a third.
Right.
So my plan was that I was going to, ask those unaffiliates how they voted in the last election to get kind of an idea what their leanings are.
Yeah.
And maybe we might be able to sway those people to vote for our maps to kind of, tell them, hey, look what's been going on since 1980. We've been getting Democrat maps ever since 1980 with the blessing of the state Supreme Court. And we've seen what one party rule looks like.
Oh, yeah.
So, hopefully I could persuade them into voting for our maps, and maybe we get more districts that are more conservative.
Yeah.
And we could start taking back the assembly and then get a huge majority of congressional members. Like before, it used to be 5-2, where the only two Democrat seats were Boulder and Denver.
Right.
And now it's Republicans have an edge. I think it's now 4-3.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. No, it's the other way because we got CD6, CD7, 1 and 2. Oh yeah, so we could do that. And Steve says the only problem is 2020 taken before all the people moved out, leaving for Texas. We will hopefully lose. Yeah, that's true. And some of those people came to Colorado,
Texas, Florida, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He also makes a point earlier in the chat. Steve does that all the Republican senators are that are up for re-election are afraid of voting for the SCOTUS. I look at it two ways. If a nominee isn't confirmed by election day, it's going to be a very strange election, because I think both parties are going to come out with all guns loaded. I mean, and figuratively, and that's going to be what the election is going to be about.
Yep, that's true.
It's not going to matter about the rioting and law enforcement, although law and order is a big deal right now. But this election, either way, is going to be about the Supreme Court justice,
right?
And I think that's going to be what this election is about. If they don't get the nominee, I'm afraid if they don't get the nomination through and get them confirmed and done before the election, that they're going to throw this election into such chaos that
was the point I was going to make. Because who's going to decide the election? It's going to go to the Supreme Court. And if you
Yep.
have a 4-4 tie, and then it goes
Goes to
to
Congress,
the House. Yeah.
the House. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
And
the way
yep.
the House is, if, well, that's the thing. And that's another thing. That's the reason the House is going to be so important too, that we have control of that in the House, because
Right.
if it goes into a House nomination, or a House decision, we really want to have, you know, I listen to people. Nobody wants Joe Biden up there. They're doing it because they want Kamala, for the Republican side. The Democrats all know
Camilla?
that he's not able to, but I'm talking about the Democrats, or the
Yeah.
liberals. They want Kamala Harris up there. Isn't that the one who's the VP?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
they're
was
voting. Yeah, they're
Carmela
voting for
or Carmelo
or yeah, Kamala, whatever the hell her name
Kamala
is.
or
Yeah,
Camelot.
Camel Toe.
Camel toe?
I
Okay.
was going somewhere else, and I thought, wrong show. I'll just stop there.
Mhm.
Because my
Okay.
mind wasn't thinking what I was going to say until I almost said it, and I go, oh, no, that's definitely wrong. Sorry, Art. That just almost slipped out. The mind was on a roll. But it wasn't.
Oh, and here's another thing you need to know, that the House votes on the president, the Senate
Votes on the vice president. Yeah.
vice president. So we might have a Democrat president and a Republican vice president.
I see it a lot, and it's because, a lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of people that I've spoke to over the years, they just assume that if it's not decided that it goes instantly to the Speaker of the House, but it doesn't. It goes to the Supreme Court, and if they split, then it goes to the House. The House votes for the president, and the Senate votes for the vice president, which, it's going to be, that'd be a hell of a trip. Biden and Pence. Because there's no, which Congress makes the decision?
Right.
Is it going to be the one after the election that's newly inaugurated, or is it going to be the one that, because God forbid they lose the Senate, then it's going to be.
You might be right, because the House and Senate get seated before the president does.
Yeah. That's another reason we need to maintain the Senate. We've got to keep control of the Senate, because no matter what, Biden is not going to be able to serve his full term. I just don't think he can. And, so that means the vice president, if it should go to a split like that, the vice president is going to be the most important seat. And if this should come to a House Senate decision, and that means we need to have the Senate so we can control who goes, because if Biden can't serve, guess what? It's going to be Pence.
Right.
That would be that would be odd, but it could happen, and that's a sign of how divisive our country has gotten over this. Because we used to have our elections were always pretty well decided. The Kennedy Nixon one was pretty tight.
Yeah, that was very tight. Where who was it? I think Nixon won the popular vote, but it was Kennedy that had the electoral vote.
Well, the electoral vote was very tight too, in which they could have gone for recount. Had they they've gone back years later and recounted all the polls, or recounted all the votes that they have, still there, and they're recorded somewhere. And some news group decided to go back under Freedom of Information. Let's open it up and look at it. And they recounted. He actually won Texas, which would have given him the win. But he did not want to put the country He did.
That's
That's
right.
the difference. He did not want to have this going into contention. Okay. He didn't call for a recount of Texas. He could have, and it was brought up several times in
Yep.
some of the records. You can see where
Right.
he's talked about it, but he even said himself, "I did not want this country to be that divisive,"
Hmm.
and
That's true.
uh, that was Richard Nixon, believe it or not. Just like he resigned. He
Yeah.
rather than go through the impeachment,
Well,
he
he didn't resign. He conceded.
No, I'm talking about when he was
Oh,
president.
when
Yeah.
Watergate. Yeah,
There again, he
that's
chose to resign rather than
yeah,
have to go through an impeachment trial. That's the
right.
difference of, that's somebody, okay, I'm not perfect. I screwed up. I'll just step back. Let's not destroy the country over this. His
Mm-hmm.
ideas were always to help the country,
Yep.
unlike Lyndon Johnson, who was all self-serving,
Yeah.
And I know
Oh,
what I was thinking of earlier before we were talking about people who were, presidents who were assassinated and so on and so forth,
yeah.
or attempts were made. Teddy Roosevelt was actually shot after he
Yeah.
was president when he was running on the Bull Moose Party. He was actually
Yeah.
shot,
Right.
and but he had a really long speech, and
Well,
they
yeah.
checked him out.
He
His
had
last
it in his
piece of the
pocket.
speech, yeah,
Yeah.
and
I think he had a leather book or what
no,
was it?
it was his speech. It was like 4 pages doubled over, or 5 pages, plus
Oh,
his metal glass case, and
that's
it
right.
slowed it down. And it went in. He had the bullet in him, and he went on and continued his speech. And then afterwards, they went in and took the bullet out.
Oh, okay.
He actually gave the speech that day because
Right.
he didn't. He says, "Okay, some guy shot at me. Got a little flesh wound. But I'm okay." But no, they actually had to go in and remove the bullet. He did that
Wow.
speech. And that was when he was running against Taft.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bull Moose Party, and
Right.
because he didn't want to run for a third term, and then Taft won, and then that turned
Well,
out to be a real crap storm there. He decided, I'm going to run against him. Instead, he split the ticket, and we
yeah,
got Woodrow Wilson.
yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah. But anyways, that's where I was going earlier. I'd read that, just watched that just the other day. That yeah,
Hmm.
that's a pretty tough old guy for somebody who was a scrawny kid, asthmatic, four-eyed, the
Yep.
whole nine yards.
That's
And he turns out to be, I'm not sure I could give a speech with yeah, just a flesh wound. Yeah, he actually had a bullet in him. It was a small
yeah,
caliber, like a 32 caliber or something like that, or 25. I think it was a 25 caliber.
yeah.
What it was. But anyways,
I just got a message from Sean Oz. He's saying, I thought your show was last night. And I go, no, this is my other channel.
yeah, this is the
Because he was
political
on
one,
Artco last night towards
right?
the end talking about spin down. I see I got it right this time. Where
Yeah,
before I was calling it spin up, and it's
right.
spin down.
Yeah, spin up was last weekend.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
So so it's, boy, just when you thought this election couldn't get more bizarre, it does. So it'll be interesting the next several weeks. We'll see how all this shakes out. And, frankly, I hope they push through another conservative judge, and then we'll have like a 6-3
yeah.
in our favor.
Well, I hope what they do is they actually put a conservative that's not
Yeah.
one of these,
Not a faux
flip-flop.
conservative like
Yeah,
Roberts.
Roberts. I
Yeah.
have never liked that. I
Yeah.
didn't like that. He should not have been put as the Chief Justice. He just,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with him when he's calling Obama a liar, but I'll give him kudos for that, but he should not have been made the Chief Justice. There were other justices there
Yep.
that could have filled
Well,
the.
I think he was better than Harriet Myers. She was
Oh,
even further left than
that's
he
true.
was.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah.
I always thought Clarence Thomas should have been the chief justice.
Yeah,
Under I
he
would have
should.
preferred Clarence Thomas over Roberts. I think that's what they should have done. They should have made Clarence Thomas the chief justice and Roberts just to fill his
I
spot.
think he'll be the next replacement. He'll be because he's the oldest on the court.
Yeah, he is.
He and Breyer, I think the two oldest on the court right now. And I think if Thomas decides to retire, I think he's just going to replace conservative with the conservative.
Yeah, yeah.
And if Breyer, decides to retire or something happens to him, then it'll be a 7-2 court.
Yeah.
All right, so we've made it an hour, and I want to thank you guys for coming to the show. We did pretty good. We got up at, I think, as high as 12 or 13. So let's do a little better. I'm shooting for 15. Let's get it up to 20 and really start getting this thing going. So take care, everybody. Have a great Sunday. God bless you, and catch you next time. I'll see Mitch a little later tonight, and I'll see you and Mel a little later tonight. So take care, everybody, and catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.